Welcome to CX Today. My name is David Dungay. I am here with Ron Calixtro, SVP Global Service Delivery at Fuze. Hi, Ron. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to our chat today.
Excellent. Well, today we're going to be talking about some of those CX trends we can all expect over the next year or so, and how that sort of plays into some of that emerging tech space we're seeing as well. But before we get into that, Ron, do you want to give us a really quick overview of yourself and Fuze?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. Myself, I'm by many counts a lifelong Fuser. I've been here for 9 years, and I've had the privilege and the pleasure of building Fuze's services practice, driving successful outcomes for customers every day. I've actually seen both sides of the growth. I have seen Fuze's evolution through the years and the maturity of the UCaaS industry as a whole. As we're aware, Fuze has entered a definitive agreement to be acquired by 8x8. Very exciting days these days, and I'm very excited to be a part of that next chapter. Over there, I'm looking forward to leveraging my experience from those 9 years and to really help fuel growth and drive the continued success of our customers at 8x8.
Excellent. So where should we start, Ron? We'll get to a little bit about the 8x8 acquisition shortly, but before we do, let's talk about some of those industry trends. What's next? We're seeing the CC and UC markets collide in a much more meaningful way at the moment. But what's next for that convergence for you?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I would say that contact centers need to become a blended experience alongside UC. 9 years ago, the conversation that I was having with customers was very different. I was speaking to facilities folks about dial tone, to IT folks about cloud telephony, and that's no longer the case. CC and UC have come together so much that it's actually business unit owners that are driving the conversations, and they're looking for results-driven solutions. And so whether it's CC, UC, CPaaS, what's getting asked of us and other vendors in the space is how can you partner with me to achieve seamless handoff and 15% gains quarter over quarter? It's very, very results driven. And I would say, building on that point, most organizations, they have dozens of contact centers within their own organization, whether it's HR or sales or IT help desk. And it creates an environment where UC and CC need to work seamlessly together, and that will continue to accelerate in 2022.
Great. So you mentioned CPaaS there, Ron. Let's just pause on that for a minute. Businesses, have they realised the benefits of CPaaS yet? Will they?
To an extent, David. I think, as you know, I mentioned earlier that I've seen the evolution of Fuze and of the industry over this time. Businesses have indeed seen some of these benefits in this moment of digital transformation. But increasingly, I would say that businesses need more visibility into their business critical metrics. And so CPaaS as a whole will continue to mature and push the convergence of itself into other cloud-based applications, similar to what we've seen with CC and UC. We can expect to see more enhanced integration with other wall-to-wall solutions. Now, industry side, I would say that the industry in itself has tremendously innovated very, very rapid pace over the past couple of years. And there's a huge opportunity for the business units, for organizations to embrace more ways for these tools to be working together. Think of big pools of data getting put together and truly the business units optimizing what they know about their business and how they continue to operate.
Great. Okay. So we get a lot of CX leaders watching our content. What's going to be next for them over the coming year? Where should they really be focused?
I think that digital transformation is greatly impacting the future of CX, of CPaaS innovation. We are seeing a higher level of involvement within the implementation from chief people officers, from chief HR officers than ever before. Really, even more so than traditional CIO and IT leader relationships. And so that means there needs to be a greater focus on adoption, on enablement, and the long tail of the business metrics that we're looking at. And I will say, as I mentioned before, that we'll need to find companies will need to find the right partner to drive those outcomes together. I think as a result, what we'll end up seeing is, from an innovation perspective, is CPaaS can plug into these other functions such as benefits, HR, onboarding, and this is driven from the need for business units to have specific outcomes and meet very specific benchmarks. I think organizations need a combination of platforms that blend communications with business intelligence and also support API developer marketplaces and most wall-to-wall tools that traditionally haven't talked together.
Yeah. So you talk about CPaaS and APIs there. We are seeing a more integrated sort of ecosystem or integrated world, if you like. Where does workforce optimization, where does that fit into all of this? And how's that going to evolve from your perspective?
I think that over the next year, workforce optimization will actually need to integrate more into platform ecosystems to help drive the business outcomes. These tools have more visibility into other parts of the business itself. So, for example, I would say traditionally workforce optimization has been attached solely to call center management, looking at things like supervisors tracking agents clocking in and out, completing a call, etc. But there's actually an opportunity for workforce optimization to extend this level of visibility across an entire organization. There are other BUs that have matured their usage of CPaaS, and they're also looking to benefit from this deeper level of visibility and solution design.
Great. Obviously, a lot of innovation going on in the space right now. It is hard to get the crystal ball out and make a prediction, but I'm going to ask you to, Ron. In terms of innovation, where that's coming from, 2 to 5 years. I mean, that's a long way out in today's environment. But where do you see that innovation really coming from in the future?
In terms of CX and getting out that crystal ball, I would say there's a couple things. One, I call it CPaaS 2.0, and then another thing, customer centricity. I'll touch on both. Gartner is reporting that by 2025, enterprise spending on advanced CPaaS tools, so think rich communications and omnichannel, AI, bots, video and visual builders, will rise from 25% currently to 50%. And so CPaaS 2.0 is what I think is about full integration with the other business platforms. This is really, really critical as businesses will become more focused, not on just their own business outcomes, but on their customer success and their customers' metrics. And that leads into this customer centricity. So our customers. The focus on internal change management these days is already shifting away. And instead, the organizations that place a lot of high value into their CPaaS are looking for partnerships. They're looking for not just vendors, but folks that are making it easy for their customers to be a part of that interconnected CPaaS 2.0 that I referenced prior.
Fantastic. And finally, obviously, Fuze, you're on a very exciting journey at the moment, as you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation. The 8x8 acquisition. Tell us, how's that going to evolve, and what can you sort of tell us at this point in time?
Indeed, very early days. Last week, Fuze had entered into a definitive agreement, as we know, to be acquired by 8x8. It's very, very exciting news for both companies. We believe that it'll bring added value to our customers, and by combining forces, it feels like a very natural fit. We have a shared vision of hybrid work and a shared vision of future integrated cloud communications. And the things that I've picked up on these early conversations are that 8x8 and Fuze share a very customer-first culture. Our teams share the same SaaS and cloud communications DNA. Very, very similar experience as the industry has matured. And I'm particularly excited to integrate our award-winning post-sales delivery team with 8x8. So we'll continue to drive innovation, deliver those services that contribute towards our customers' success.
Great. Well, look, Ron, it's been an absolute delight talking to you today. I wish you all the very best for the future, and with the acquisition and that sounds incredibly exciting. But thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, David. Appreciate it.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on CX Today. If you liked today's conversation, please give us a like and share on social media. That's it from me. I'll see you next time.